I had a lot of expectations about Mega Meganium, as you can imagine. A world of possibilities and directions have rushed through my mind in the past few months of concepts and ideas on where GameFreak could bring our blooming dino to. But the one thing I didn't expect was Yuri. Today's video is a bit different than usual because I am probably busy right now playing Legends ZA. But in the last months, I did end up becoming infamous online as Chikorita's strongest soldier, and I know that many people will want to reach out to me and ask for my opinion on Mega Meganium. So, to have a quick link to send people whenever they ask, welcome to a quickie Cecily video. You might even call it a free DLC added on top of my The Correct Way to Design Pokémon video. Here, I will analyze Mega Meganium's design and stats to understand this game-changing high-femme makeover that was given to the most unfairly hated starter of all time. If this hate was due to misogyny or not, I still don't know. All we can do is to rehearse. But shiny Mega Meganium is now carrying a lesbian flag on her neck, so I'd say the girls keep winning. But as we have discussed in the channel before, Mega Evolution is all about doubling down on original design motifs, an opportunity for designers to update older works with newer concepts and ideas, and I want to understand how that comes into play in Mega Meganium. Also, try to find where the Sugimori Theorem applies, which is GameFreak trying on purpose to not make any Pokemon too cool or too cute, always throwing them off balance to make them more memorable. And then at the end of the video I can, yes, let you know if I liked it or not, but don't skip! Liking a design is so subjective and personal, while an objective analysis is spicier, I'd say. You can even call it more materialistic. Also, I always like it when you're paying attention. But of course, to understand Mega Meganium, we need to understand Meganium first. And where better to start doing that than with my favorite Pokemon. I had some time to think in the past months, and I believe the reason why I love Chikorita so much is that, just like Eevee, you can see it's some sort of animal. It's a pet, it's a creature, it's a friend, but you can't pinpoint exactly what it is inspired by. There's a fauna ambiguity in Chikorita's design, which I simply love when Pokemon is able to pull off. You can call it a dino, you can call it a pear, you can call it a chicory root, but at the end of the day, it's all and none of those. This ambiguity, lack of defining feature or shapes or signifieds are almost like a Rorschach test, where the viewer can see whatever they want in Chikorita, and in my opinion that makes it feel mighty real, familiar and strange. Not an animal, not an object, a Pokemon. Chikorita is happy and small and filled with joy. It has a silly smile etched on her face at all the time. She has the coolest 90s choker and emo bangs in the form of a leaf on her head. It represents the potential energy of growth we see in nature. It's just a seed and it's ready to bloom. Just like with every sprouting plant, every single Pokédex entry reinforces how important the sun is to Chikorita. It is docile and loves to soak up the sun's rays. It loves to sunbathe, and it loves to bask in the sunlight. The leaf on her head is used for protection, but also, just like Mega Dragonite, it's a feeler. It helps Chikorita perceive, be aware of, and connect to the nature around her. Like antennae. In battle, Chikorita waves its leaf around to keep the foe at bay. However, a sweet fragrance also wafts from the leaf, becalming the battling Pokemon and creating a cozy, friendly atmosphere all around. Chikorita is empathetic, docile, and will calm Pokemon around her, but she can also defend herself if needed. Basking in the sun, Chikorita grows. With Bayleaf, the aroma stops coming from the leaf in her head and is now concentrated on her neck. The scent that wafts from the leaves on its neck causes anyone who smells it to become energetic. When it becomes Meganium, the fragrance of Meganium's flowers soothes and calms emotions. In battle, this Pokemon gives off more of its becalming scent to blunt the foe's fighting spirit. Its breath has the fantastic ability to revive dead plants and flowers. That's the design foundation of Meganium, the natural bloom of life. Empathy, growth. Chikorita has a leaf on her head for protection and small buds on her neck. Through her connection to nature and mainly to the sun, the buds grow into leaves which bloom into the petals. This relation is highlighted by Meganium's hidden ability, Leaf Guard, which ensures that she is always healthy under the sun. With flowers such as these, the leaf doesn't need to be used for combat anymore, so its empathetic and perception skills develop further into literal antennae, almost like the stamen of a flower. It is used to feel nature, emotions, and Pokemon around her. This really linear progression of bud to leaf to flower is her motif and also where her battle strength comes from. All of that translates into her gameplay. Yes, in 1999, being a pure grass type is challenging, mostly in a game where every Pokemon has a bit of a meh moveset. Grass types are weak against Johto's many poison, flying, and bug types, and while I do admit that Bugsy's Scyther might be a bigger challenge if you are doing a Chikorita solo run, I still refuse to believe that the explanation for the backlash against her could be Faulkner's level 9 Pidgeotto. In my attempt, I managed to solo them both, but yes, I'm an experienced player, and most small kids will prefer to play with strong legendary sweepers, and that's just not how Meganium plays. She plays empathetically, providing support with Reflect, Light Screen, Aromatherapy, and Safeguard to keep Pokemon around her healthy. She's never been a sweeper, she's a caretaker with her identity in battle, revolving around nurturing and shielding others. Even though in modern VGC, Meganium is quite outclassed by other support Pokemon with better abilities, stats-wise, when she was released, she was as good as all the other starters in competitive Generation 2. Actually, in fan formats such as Mogon, Meganium has seen some OU usage being in the same tier as Charizard and Typhlosion. Actually, the only underused tier starters in Gen 2 are Blastoise and Feraligatr. Meganium is ranked as high as all the other starters, and now she's overflowing with Mega Energy. If that's the natural progression of the line, bud growing to leaf to flower through a strong connection with the sun, then of course the Mega design would need to double down on that motif. Mega Evolution pushes that natural cycle to its breaking point. The flower blooms again and again and again, this time into pillows but also into chain armor. The fairy type would honestly already be a good fit for regular Meganium if it existed in 1999, but this only reinforces her role as a healer of all living things. The Entei grows more and more, highlighting its connection to the environment and twists over itself almost like a fae, but with her dark green paws firmly grounded to the earth. Both of those make sense if you look at her new moveset, learning moves such as Dazzling Gleam and Earth Power. But here is where I think the most interesting part of Mega Meganium's design comes to play. The flowers are not just cutesy and pillowy and delicate and defensive. They are her strongest weapon. This is where the Sugimori Theorem shows. Mega Meganium could have easily gone full cute fairy goddess, ethereal and majestic, but instead of a purely defensive tank, they made her paws dirty and turned her bouquet into a cannon that can harness its entire energy from the sun. Looking at her Pokédex entry, it reads, "This Pokemon can fire a tremendously powerful solar beam from its 4 flowers. Another name for this is Mega Sol Cannon. The gradient from white to red feels like a sunlight concentrating into a solar weapon, from the white calm warmth of dawn hardening into the red fiery heat of noon. From a white dwarf to a red giant, they almost feel like sun mirrors, a cannon that uses petals focusing sunlight like lenses. An armor that functions as a cannon is even more obvious when you look at Mega Meganium stats and see just where the 100 extra stat points from Mega Evolution went to. And here, dear stranger online, it's where things get super crazy. The boost Mega Meganium got to her special attack is dramatic. According to an unknown PokeTuber called GameFreak, when analyzing why Meganium never has seen any use in VGC, he says,
"There is one good thing I can say about Meganium, and that is that it is decently bulky. And that's about where the good news ends. Meganium has super low offensive stats, making it nearly impossible for it to do damage. And it's not very fast.
But from 90 base special attack, Mega Meganium jumped to 140, which is a gigantic jump. In comparison, Flutter Mane, one of the strongest fairy types of all time, has 135. The VGC World Champion special attacker Miraidon has 135. Mega Meganium in a vacuum has more pure attacking power than both a time-traveling witch and a red bike. She also got a buff to both defenses. If they were solid before, now both are sitting at a really respectable 115 stat points, the same bulk as Suicune. Of course, both Miraidon and Flutter Mane have insanely broken abilities which, at the end of the day, are at the core of what makes them the threat they are, and enable them to hit as hard as they do. We won't know which ability Meganium will get until a home update or the release of Pokémon Champions in 2026, but the fact that the sheer scale of attacking power we are talking about right now makes it so that we can even have this conversation is incredible to me. I think it demonstrates GameFreak wanting to push this Pokemon beyond being limited to being a healer or only a screen setter. I was talking to Daniel Palladino, who is a Brazilian VGC top player and regional finalist, and he told me that even though having a ×4 weakness to poison is tricky, Mega Meganium's decent bulk could help her get around it. With these stats, Mega Meganium is looking really good, but only when we know her ability will we be able to say for sure. And since we are looking at the entire design motif of Meganium, I think that I want to take a guess here. Indulge in a bit of speculation, if you allow me. We had some speculation that Mega Meganium could get abilities like Triage or Grassy Search, but after reading the Pokédex entry, I have a new idea. We have established that Meganium had a close relation to the Sun since its Chikorita form, and she already has a Sun-based ability in Leaf Guard. It kinda looks like GameFreak wants to turn Mega Meganium into the ultimate solar beam attacker, the Mega Sol Cannon. Honestly, I think there's a chance they might just give her solar power, an ability that increases even more Meganium's offense under the sun. An ability so good that it has turned base Charizard into an international VGC champion in Scarlet and Violet, piloted by one of the best players in the world, Marco Silva. With the Mega Sol Cannon, Mega Meganium might find usage in a large niche as a bulky special attacker in Sun teams in the next VGC seasons, playing under the sun in a similar way our Caledon has played under Rain during Scarlet and Violet. Chikorita is my favorite Pokemon, and I think she has been treated super unfairly by the community in the past 25 years. And I understand that everyone will have their own opinions and experiences with a Pokemon. As I said in the beginning of the video, personal opinions are subjective and all of them are valid. But community trends are not the same as an individual opinion, and when I suggested that some of the Jungian collective unconscious leaning towards hating the Chikorita line could be rooted in an old idea that gaming is for boys, boosted by 90s ad campaigns and a bad reaction from 1999 majorly male gamers, who now had a girl protagonist and a feminine coded starter presented to them, I sure got a lot of replies. People swarming my comment section to this day saying that they only form their opinion based on stats and nothing else. And if their unbiased opinion isn't misogynistic, then no one else's could ever be. And kept explaining to me again and again and again why they think Chikorita is basically unusable in Johto and thus deserving of hate. To those people, I ask, now that Mega Meganium stats are rivaling those of restricted legendaries and world champions, is Meganium your favorite Pokemon already? Let me know in the comments. Because as time passes, and as I have explained before, Mega Evolutions are more than anything an opportunity for designers to revisit old ideas and understand where they would take a design if it was made today. This team revisited the Meganium design from 1999 and saw how the world, the Pokemon fanbase, and their own sensibilities have changed. Meganium's empathy and connection to nature used to mean that her major role was supporting teammates. But 25 years later, with the fairy type, empathy doesn't show only in connection and protection anymore. Empathy shows in power, in strength, and Meganium, more than anyone, deserves to be charged and illuminated by the energy of the stars. It doesn't matter if you hate Chikorita, forget about Bayleaf or Bully Meganium. Come rain and storms, the sun always rises, spring always arrives, and flowers will always bloom into their strongest selves. The more I see Mega Meganium in-game and write and research about her, the more I fall in love with this design, and I'm really excited to use her in Pokémon Legends ZA. Much nicer than a leaked blurry screenshot, right? If you want to play ZA with Chikorita and me, don't forget to check me out on Twitch. I will be live every day of ZA release week with my first playthrough of the game, and I have many new projects planned for the next few weeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well to help me sail the deep and treacherous waters of the YouTube algorithm. You can catch my Pokemon X Girly Pop Nuzlocke video here, and my latest VOD of Legends ZA here. And remember, if you don't like shiny Mega Meganium, you are literally homophobic.